It's Tuesday night, and we are on the air. Talking about whatever you want to talk about, talking to whomever decides to pick up the phone and call 07491 751 203. That is a different number from the usual. That is a new number, but it's the same show. It's the same concept. And on line one, already, we got someone there. Who's there? Oh, God. Welcome back, Harpreet Singh. Where you been?
Hello, I was on vacation,
Okay. Where did you wind up?
It begins with I and end with A.
It begins with I. And all right, hold on. Is it Indonesia?
No.
Is it what? Oh, where? Begins with I and is it Ipanema? Ipanema, the girl from Ipanema.
No, that doesn't exist. That country. Don't make up country.
Well, they make up countries every night. In some parts of the world. No, where have you been?
Hey, let's do this today. Okay, listen to me. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Sex, baby. Not you and me, but just imagine you are female, blonde, big tit.
Yeah.
And imagine I'm me.
I'm reading your mind.
Yeah, you read my mind. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things. Let's talk about sex, baby.
I know you like a good sing song. You like a
And I like a good sex.
Yeah. This is a family show, Harpreet. Can we?
11:10 past 11. Who's watching in this time?
I know, but we gotta keep it clean. But look, I was gonna go through some of the stories. Huh?
Yes. I said it's family show, but we like to keep it X-rated,
Yeah, I know you do. But I was going to wade through some of the stories in the news, and some of them are, a bit serious.
Oh, which one?
Well, look, for example, let's kick it off. Trump unveils realistic. Do you know what? I'm gonna come back to that later. Do you want to start with the less serious stuff?
Okay.
All right, because I think you might wade in on this one. Yeah, Freemasons going vegan is a symbol of our times. The Freemasons, they'll be listening now because they do listen in. I know they listen to this show. They have decided to go vegan. How do you feel about that?
It's veganuary,
Do you think that's why?
Veganuary. Yeah, they will finish in February 1st, you see. Valentine's Day, coming. They're going to celebrate.
All right, because the Masons usually... They wear a lambskin apron when taking part in the ritual.
Very strange to me, I think they're gay. They're gay?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think you can't be a Freemason if you're a Roman Catholic. The Catholic Church
so you have to be gay then. You have to be gay.
I don't know if you can be gay or not. I don't know.
But the Pope, they say the Pope, their leader is gay. The Freemason Pope is their leader. Okay?
No, the Pope is not. The Pope is not the leader of the Freemasons. You cannot be, if you are a Catholic, you're forbidden to be a member of the Freemasons.
The lizard woman, Queen Lizard.
Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah,
You've been watching.
The one,
I think you've been watching too much David Icke. He talks about
David Icke.
Yeah, he talks about that.
I've been to his show,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very intelligent man. He's like he's good for us,
You know what? I've got a lot of time for David Icke. I don't just dismiss him as someone who believes in the lizards or he's a tinfoil hat wearer. David Icke actually, I think, foresaw a lot of things that are happening now. He called out a lot of people, so I will never criticise David Icke in the way that some people do. But I'm glad that you're a fellow fan. So
I am interested, yes.
Yeah. and the Freemasons wearing a vegan lambskin apron. Oh, we've got something exciting happening, Harpreet.
Yes.
Oh, but they've just hung up. We had another caller. If you were trying to get through, caller, and it looks like it might be an international call. What's 0018? Is that American number?
That is, yes, that is international
It's
American.
not okay.
Yes,
It's not.
001,
Okay,
yes.
caller from America. Try again, and you'll get through. And we might let you have a little chat with Harpreet Singh.
Oh wow, I would love.
You could ask him any question. You don't mind answering a question, right, Mr. Singh?
No, I have many time to talk tonight because my wife, we had argument, so I'm not going to bed tonight early.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear you. Are you calling from the doghouse?
You call doghouse, I call my house. You know.
You're in a bit of trouble. But look, the Freemasons going vegan. I just want to go into a little bit of the symbology. So traditionally, they've worn a lambskin apron when taking part in the rituals. Why do you think they wear a lambskin apron of all the meat or fur available? Why would it be a lambskin?
I think because the term sacrificial lamb.
There you go. You got it. You got it. That is exactly what I was going to say. Sacrificial lamb.
Sacrificing to their, and they be hanging around with too many Hindus, you know.
Well, the Hindus don't sacrifice any animal, do they? If they can help it.
They don't, but they like to be like vegan, you know.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good point. But if you're gonna,
it's funny because we Indian, we wear red dot on our forehead. Now they're copying us wearing something on their head, you know. We started the tradition of wearing something on the forehead.
Well, a lot of religions have got headgear, but I'm fascinated.
Name me one. Name me five.
Five. Okay. Well, the Jews would wear a yarmulke. There's one.
But no one listen to Jews.
Okay. Muslim women often wear a hijab, a covering of the hair. Some Muslim men cover their head also at certain times. And the Sikhs obviously wear a turban. There's three.
That's us. Yes, that's us. But I don't wear no more. I told off. I took.
Yeah, I know, because you wanted to assimilate, apparently.
No, I wanted to liberate.
Liberation through assimilation.
Something like that, yes. But my wife, she's very Indian, you know. She wear turban.
Yeah, well, a friend of the show, Barbara Ali, says there's no compulsion in religion, but don't compromise your religion. That's one of his famous quotes, actually. So he might criticise it. He's a chap I used to present a radio show with, and I caught up with him over Christmas, and he did say there's no compulsion in religion, but don't compromise your religion. So if you are believing in something, then you don't need to take your hat off just to live in the UK. As Tom Jones said, you can leave your hat on or your turban.
Tom Jones, he's singing that song. Which one?
Yeah, you can leave your hat on. And
no, he's singing
there's many.
Song. It's not unusual to make love to me.
Yeah, I think
it's not unusual to make India compete. It's not unusual to ride with me.
Yeah, something like that. I can see. I can imagine you doing the carton dance at home. Yeah. Oh, look, hey, Heartbreak, listen to this. Fish Shamer is saying, funny thing is, the guy who owns this channel is a Freemason himself. Well, I think Fishhammer is alluding to the idea, I was about to say the fact, but the idea that I am a Freemason. Liam Bobrick saying, did you see the restored painting featuring Lamb with the more human-like face? I haven't seen that. And Hey14 saying, this Sikh is drunk. They're accusing you of being inebriated.
No, I'm very holy.
Yeah.
Don't say to me.
Very sober. Me? Well, I'm just telling you what's going on in the chat there. But I wonder why Fishhammer thinks I'm a Freemason? And if I was,
Hammer,
how would he know?
because this show is making lots of money. You know, we have
Yeah, I
260
know.
views.
I cleaned up last month, yeah. No, I mean, surely if the Freemasons, as I understand it, are a secret society, if I were a Freemason, the only way that this viewer, commenter would know would be if he was a Freemason as well. Mr. Fishammer, maybe you would like to give us a call. The number is there in the description, and it's on the screen 07491 751 203. Maybe you can tell me how it is you know that I'm a Freemason.
Yeah, tell us, you lying. Can I swear?
Don't swear, but yeah, that's all right. I mean, why?
Beep, beep, beep.
The thing is, thank you for beeping it out. Why is the term Freemason thrown around as if it's an insult? Why are we so suspicious of the Freemasons? I mean, the idea of this secret society and the Illuminati, all the rest of it, what is it they've actually been convicted of?
I think rape.
No, well, we can't say that without proof, you see. But
Allegedly rape.
yeah, thanks for throwing in allegedly. But yeah, I'm curious that he would say that I'm a Freemason. And yeah, they're confirming it. You're right. He's Gam in the chat is confirming it. He's saying 100% drunk. So that you're not just a bit drunk, you're 100%.
How he know I drunk? He drinking as well? He Indian? How he know I drunk?
Maybe.
I'm not drunk. I'm knowledgeable man.
Yeah, maybe. Look, whoever's trying to get through on the chat should
Please
persevere, because they keep calling and they keep hanging up. But
I'm ready.
yeah, we might be going international. Whoever that is trying to call, just persevere. You'll get through to myself and Harpreet Singh.
1-to-1. Come on.
And
1-to-1.
yeah, they're saying that you're a bit drunk.
Yeah. No. Hey, last time, remember we did the song together, end of the show.
Yeah, we rounded off the show. It went.
I would love to do again. My
Yeah, have you got?
family think I'm superstar now.
What? Yeah. What ideas have you got for a finale?
I would love to do something great, like maybe like a Britney Spears.
I can. Yeah, I can.
Hit me one more time.
Hit me one more time.
Hit me one. Or genie in a bottle.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
I don't care. I'm a genie and
a bottle.
I am not drunk.
No,
I am not drunk.
Definitely not. But look, going back to these the Freemasons, what is it that people suspect the Freemasons of? Even I throw it around. I'm a tinfoil hat wearer. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I'm into David Icke, as I mentioned. But has anyone ever actually come up with any hard evidence for something the Freemasons have been responsible? But you've seen the episode of The Simpsons, right, where they mock it.
Victim of the alleged rape, maybe they're coming with evidence in court.
Yeah, I know, but come on, what have they done?
They have controlled the world, you know. I am reading and studying, and I see the Freemason. I used to work next to Freemason church, you know.
A temple, a Freemason temple,
They have
Freemasonic
secret
temple.
agenda to take over the world, you know.
You reckon?
They're very scary people, you know.
I've got a book here. I do like to flick through the old bookshelf, and there is a book here on the hidden origins of the United Irishmen, who were a early Irish Republican armed resistance group in the late 1700s, very late 1700s, around the time of the French Revolution. And this book asserts that the formation of the United Irishmen had a Masonic influence. So it seems like they got a finger in every part. I know I'm going a bit particular here, but this is alleging that the United Irishmen were, and it is an example which perhaps surprised many, as the important role played by Freemasonry in the development of radical politics in Ireland. So as much as I was saying you cannot be a... Oh, here we go. Here we go. You're on hold. And we are now merging the calls. Harpreet, whoa. Harpreet, the Turk has just joined us on line 2. Gentlemen, meet each other.
Hello. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Wow, so...
You are my friend, my brother. Forever together, India and Turkish one.
This has just blown the conspiracy theorists out of the water. As someone was saying to me, I think those two guys are the same person. But here's the proof, kids.
Yes, here is the proof.
The Turk and Harpreet Singh are on air together. Turk, what you got for us? Are you clued up on the Freemasons?
Give us kebab. Give us kebab. Come on.
Oh, hold on.
Shish kebab or lamb kebab.
And now we merge again. We've got a caller from Canada. Welcome, caller.
MashaAllah.
Oh, we're going crazy. Can you hear that, guys?
What are we talking about?
Well, I've bitten off more than I can chew here. I think the Canadian caller is just trying to sabotage it. He's playing his nasheed again. Here we go. No, I'm going to take them out. Okay, he's gone. It's just the Turk and Harpreet again, gentlemen. I think someone was calling to sabotage it. We're trying to have fun here, and they're getting carried away.
How many phones do you have set up?
Well, no, we're taking conference calls now. We've evolved, so I can merge the calls, and I don't know what the limit is, but we had 3 on the go there.
Julian, my hair is standing up on my...
On your what?
No, because I'm so excited.
I know. This is...
3-way.
It's 3-way. I've never been involved in a 3-way on the air, but here it is. But Turk, what's your take on this Freemasons? I want to get the Turk on the Freemasons. What do you think? They've gone vegan.
Well, I worked with one of a person whose father was a Freemason, and he told me, he told me that they just go from country club and clubhouse and stuff like that. They just sit around and they drink their whiskey, they drink their cigars, and they plan things to do.
Like what? Take over the world?
Could be that. Could be to, disrupt things. Could be to, fuck things up.
Do you think they're are they that influential, or is it just a fun thing to say?
Well, they have a lot of power and a lot of money and influence. So yeah, I think so. And I hear that they're responsible for the LGBT gang, the toughest gang in the world, LGBT. Correct? Well, there is a gay mafia, yes, but I don't think it's the Freemasons. There's a thing as the gay mafia, and we should eliminate them.
Once again, as usual, these are views of the callers and are not of the channel, but thank you there.
Everyone's view. Inshallah, the gays will go away. Oh, yes, we believe. No gay. Christianity and Muslims come together against the gays.
Well, look, gentlemen,
definitely.
I would remind you that the religious people would say, hate the sin, not the sinner.
No, we hate everything on this show.
Okay. All right.
I like this guy. I like this guy's attitude.
Well, he's got similar views. And someone in the chat, Liam in the chat, is saying gay mafia, fabulous.
Gay mafia, yes. What else is the topic? I saw you did Press Andrew, the guy Pizzagate, the guy who likes to child molest people.
Yeah, look, we had that. We've also got, and Turk, this is another one for you. And I didn't get a chance to mention this the other night. Families of Ottoman origin in South Africa eagerly await Turkish citizenship. People of Turkish heritage who've lived in South Africa for 3, maybe 4 generations are hoping to get Turkish citizenship. Does somebody have the right?
That is wonderful.
Do they really have the right to citizenship of their great-grandfather, someone who left the country over 100 years ago?
I think so. values of the country and they want to contribute and help the country out, definitely. And also, South Africa is not doing so well because the blacks are killing all the whites, like the farmers, because they're not intelligent enough to understand how business works and stuff like that.
Once again, views of the callers and not the host. Surely it takes a long time to recover from imperialism, Turk, and South Africa needs to be given a chance to blossom.
Well, Africa has been recovering since the dawn of time, so I don't know if they're ever going to recover.
Well, Africa has been pillaged left, right, and centre, hasn't it? And the richest parts of Africa, in terms of resources, are the poorest because people went there to steal their stuff. I'm talking about diamonds in Sierra Leone, for example, made the country resource rich, but the people very poor due to war.
Yes, but the King Blacks allowed that to happen. You know.
Well,
there is a hierarchy in every place.
Yeah, and the white man was
like during during the slave colonial times, they didn't give the best blacks. They gave the criminals and the bad ones, the most aggressive.
Okay, but I mean, black people in South Africa are not descended from slaves. They are descended from people that were made second-class citizens in their own country, right?
Yes, I'm definitely not connecting that to that, but yes, but I think so because if you're in Poland, they had a thing that if you can connect your heritage to some of your ancestors and you're outside of a different country, you can get citizenship and a house, like a mansion for free.
A mansion for free. It sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, and all the Jews were applying, and they were like, "Nope, we can't connect you. Goodbye."
Well, I wouldn't know much about that, but I would need to do my research. In the chat.
Did you research more of the coronavirus about how there's different cases now in Germany and in France?
Is it spreading? I wonder, will this just be another SARS, another Ebola, another here today, gone tomorrow, forgotten about virus? Is this just another way to make China look bad?
Well, I hope not, because we really need. Hopefully this will kill hopefully billions of people because there's too many humans and there's too many of Chinese people in India.
That's the Turk going in. You're going in on the depopulation agenda there. I'm surprised.
Yes. Hopefully this helps out. If billions of people die from this will be a great humanitarian effort. Thanks to the Chinese government for letting this virus spread.
Well, look, I did. Someone saying, why don't I get George Galloway on here? I did chat to him at the weekend, and he said almost something along the lines of, thank God it happened in China, because they're one of the few countries that are ready to deal with it and can build a hospital overnight, almost.
Yeah, they're building 4 new hospitals. How crazy is that?
Yeah. Jamie Dodger in the chat saying, China is bad. They have locked up Muslims. I hope Allah destroys the China government. Yeah, China can't put a foot right at the moment, can they?
Yeah, China is fucking up, man. But, they're also going to fuck up with their social credit system. Hello, I'm just going for shit. Everybody's going to be a snitch.
All right, look. Harpreet, you do your thing. You feel free to call me back in 10 minutes or whatever, all right?
I need shit quickly. I'll be back quickly. I shit, okay?
No problem.
Go outside your house and take a shit.
No problem. You can...
Thank you for the shit.
Yeah, thank you. Come again. Okay. Yeah, that's...
That guy's funny, man.
Yeah, he's valued for money. Whoever he really is, we don't know.
Priceless.
Yeah. In fact, well, he'll be interested in this now that he's gone. Tell this Sikh guy, does he not realise he is a Muslim, not a Sikh? Sikhism started as a mix of Islam and Hinduism. All his gurus are Sufi Muslims. Even the first guru went to Hajj in Mecca. Interesting stuff.
So you're saying he's what's it called? Religiously fluid?
Well, there you go. Religious fluid, maybe.
Binary,
yeah, religion binary.
Religion.
All the religions came from each other, Buddhism came from Hinduism.
Yeah, of course.
Islam came as a sort of amalgamation of or a continuation of Judaism and Christianity, and we all come from the one source. We should all carry on together in the one direction. But Gam in the chat is saying Allah sent China the virus. Maybe.
Yes, maybe, right? You never know.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
do you have any other?
Yeah, well, here's on the topic of religion. Israel is on your side. Jewish States UN envoy tells Iranian people in Persian. So Israel is attempting to tell the Iranian people that Israel is on your. Once again, well, we don't hate you. We just hate your government. But
Israel is the biggest evil in the world. Goddamn Israel.
Well, views of the caller, not the show. I think Israel, let's talk in plain terms, in legal terms, Israel is in breach of more UN Security Council resolutions than any other country in the world. And there will be a reason for that, and we can debate it anytime we like. Avzad in the chat is saying... Yeah, go on.
I have a recent news. Kobe Bryant died.
Yeah, I'm gonna put his picture up there. Why do you think the world has reacted so well? I mean, it was a huge shock, but the world is in mourning. It seems for this guy.
Yeah.
Even people that were like, I played basketball when I was a kid, so I feel this sort of resonates with me. And he's a name I recognise and someone that I watch, and I can admire him as an athlete. But it seems like this story. Is it because he was so young? Is it because he lost a child as well? What is it that has made people resonate with this story in particular?
Well, it's mostly because he was so international and he connected people with basketball from like China and all around the world, and Europe and America.
It seems like he must have.
Yeah, and also it was just a giant shock.
Yeah.
It's a giant shock that it suddenly happened. Like Kobe Bryant, of all people, that's like Messi or Connor dying, you know?
Yeah. But if, let's say, if a footballing great passed away young, do you think the world would Americans be aware of it as much as we are aware of this?
No, definitely not. They wouldn't care.
The American culture is the dominant culture. No, but look, I mean, God rest him. He was a superb athlete, and as someone who played basketball, and basketball was the sport, was the team game of my youth, really. And a close friend of mine from the basketball team put a really sort of profound statement up about it. You played basketball as a kid, yeah?
Yes, we played basketball in the mountains of Achibaba, where I am from.
Wonderful. Well, yeah, it's a great game, and I remember we played for school, but we entered the school. The PE teacher, the coach, entered the school team into a club league as well. So we were playing basketball clubs, and we were playing other schools, and basically, every time we played another school, we would win, but every time we played the clubs, we would get beaten. So we were like very good for a school, but we were out of our depth in the club league. But we held our own sometimes. And one night we had a famous win against a local professional club, and it was like a real sort of memorable moment, and you gel together as a team. And that's something that the solo sports, the martial arts, the boxing, etc., can't give you. And Fish Hammer in the chat is saying, "Why are you so scared to curse Israel at Lessons for Life? You shill." There's the number, Fish Hammer. Yeah, we'll see who's scared. 07491 751 203. Let's see who's scared. I've got the Turk with you. He can referee it. And if you're outside the UK, it's +44 749 175 203. Let's see. We'll see who's scared.
Have you seen the Connor fight?
Yes, I did against the Cowboy. The shoulder shot. How about that?
Yeah, my grandmaster taught me that as well, so that's nothing new for me.
Ah, superb.
I was not surprised.
Funny enough, and I know you trained jiu-jitsu, right?
Yes.
I heard from a lot of jiu-jitsu groups, and the chat going around after that was people saying, "Hey, we did that. I did that years ago. It's nothing new." And you're right. It is taught.
Yeah,
it is taught. But who did it in the UFC? Who made it famous?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
someone has to do it the first time. Did you see Joe Rogan talking about that?
Stephen A. Smith.
No, he was mentioning people doing front kicks to the face, like when Anderson Silva knocked someone out with that. I can't remember who it was, but these sort of techniques that everyone is sort of aware of, but you don't really see them, and then someone does it, and then it's everywhere.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, and
also regular people can't get famous for it because they're just street fighters instead of being on the biggest stage. You know. So he has a great opportunity.
Yeah, that's right, man. And the other chap who calls us from time to time, Mac, he's always talking about Jorge and him coming from a street fighter background. Do you think coming from what is preferential in terms of being a pro fighter, having the street background or the traditional martial arts background? Or do you need a bit of both?
Definitely traditional.
Okay.
Traditional, because you need to be taught the stuff basic instead of just getting hurt. You know.
Yeah, no, it is all. I think I would agree. You need to learn. You need to learn. You need to learn techniques and drill the things that work. But there are some things that can't be taught.
Is Raj the Indian guy who was just on the call?
No, you got that's Harpreet, who's an Indian guy. We got an Iranian guy who's a regular contributor.
Because I remember on your channel you were on Speaker's Corner and there was some dude with a turban.
That's Raj Speaker's Corner. His channel is good value for money. If you're into the Speaker's Corner,
he's that guy?
He's a real Speaker's Corner celebrity, critical of Muslims. He said it before, I have no problem with Islam, but he's critical of Muslims.
Yeah, but who is that guy? Who is that guy?
He's just the guy from Speaker's Corner.
Yeah, was that the guy calling?
No. Well, I don't think it is. It's certainly a different accent.
Okay.
Unless it's someone...
Okay, what about the guy that you had on the doing spoken words about Pizza Express?
The spoken word about Pizza Express?
Yeah, well, first Andrew, that he got caught at Pizza Express, and you had one of your friends have a little funny...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Saj went down to Pizza Express. Yeah, Saj Gotti crops up from time to time. He is... he's got a few videos. He's a bit of a character as well. He did one in Richmond and IKEA. Yeah, look, I'm open, and we need to get your friend on
my associate.
Your associate, friend of a friend, the top magician in Nepal.
Yes.
I wonder when we can do that.
Yes. Well, hopefully next week, because I heard that this week he has a birthday party.
Okay, well maybe we could get some clips from that. That would be excellent. Remind us of his name. It's Shaolin, yeah.
Yes, you should definitely. It's Shaolin VJK.
Yeah, Shaolin VJK. Look him up. He's a top magician.
You should definitely come Friday if you can.
I'll try and make it, and I'll try and bring the camera. But look, thank you very much. I'm going to free the airlines up in case any prank callers want to get in touch with me or anyone calling me a shill. But thank you very much for getting in touch, as always.
Great, thank you very much.
Nice one, brother.
I'll speak soon.
For sure. Thank you and good night. There goes the Turk. Legend on the line, and devout caller and listener. Once again, if you want to get in touch, 07491 751 203, and you will get straight through to me. If you want to call me a shill, if you want to call me out for doing whatever it is you are accusing me of, go for it. And yeah, Liam Bulbrick is saying in the chat in regards to Pizza Express, don't order the spicy one. He might sweat because, of course, Prince Andrew apparently could not sweat, but we don't believe that for 1 minute. Once again, the lines are open. If you want to get in touch, anything you want to talk about, anything goes. There's no rules here. 07491 751 203. And there's lots of anti-Semitism in the chat, which is unfortunate. So we mentioned the Freemasons going vegan, and that's obviously symbolism relating to the sacrificial lamb, as I was mentioning to the Turk mentioned to me. We've got the families of the Ottoman origin in South Africa eagerly awaiting Turkish citizenship. I wanted to bring this up because, shamefully, there are the descendants of 1 million people who left Turkey around about the same time, a little bit later, in fact, in the forced population exchange between Greece and Turkey, when around 500,000 Muslims were made to leave Greece and around 1 million Christians were made to leave Turkey. There's a couple of thousand Orthodox Christian Greek community remaining in Istanbul, and it's such a crime that people should be forced out of their native land because of their religion, in this sort of false idea that the borders of a state have to reflect the ethnic makeup of a country. And this comes to the two-state solution that we are not finding at the moment with Donald Trump, the man who thought that building a wall was the answer, and his idea for Palestine. But let's not forget that 1 million people were expelled from Turkey because they were Christians, and those people are not entitled to Turkish citizenship today, and I think they should be. And they are, and you might not like me saying this, but they are the native inhabitants whose origins lie in Asia Minor, as it was known, or Anatolia, which became known as Turkey later. Sorry, Turk, sorry to say this, but your ancestors came to Turkey from the Turkic nations in Central Asia and pushed out the Christian population over hundreds of years. And if we're going to say that the Palestinians have a right to return, which they do under international law, then we should also say that the people who were pushed out of Turkey, and vice versa, Muslims that were forced to leave Greece, and this catastrophe happened just over 100 years ago, just after the Armenian and Greek genocide, at a time when nation states were being born and drawn up under ethnic lines. And I think it is one of the catastrophes of the 20th century that we tend to forget. And if you want to go at the green light, you should also stop at the red light, and we mustn't be hypocritical. So I maintain that these people pushed out of Turkey should have the right to go home. And the church in Istanbul that was turned into a mosque and is now, very sadly, a museum, you've got to allow people whose culture relates to this building have access to it. Because if you don't allow for that, then what is to stop the Zionist state from turning Masjid al-Aqsa into a synagogue and just saying, hey, well, look, we won. And the winners write history. And also there's Trump saying, and this reminds me of what he said to black voters before he was elected, something akin to, well, look, you've got nothing to lose. Trump said he had spoken briefly to Palestinian leaders. I'm sure they will act negatively at first, but it's actually very positive for them. But they have a lot of incentive to do it, he said. Yeah, so Donald Trump, the man who thinks the answer is to build a wall, is trying to solve the conflict in the region where they did build a wall. And I have seen it. And it is a crime. Not only is it an eyesore, it is a crime. And Banksy has tried to improve it with his graffiti. But it is still a contravention of international law. It cuts people off from their land, from their farms, and the wall has to go. So this vision of a two-state solution, as has already been said in the chat, there is no two-state solution. And Abzad is saying the Jews will live under Sharia law, and he spelt Jews incorrectly there. But Prince Charles is wading in on it. We were talking about the royal family. Prince Charles wishes Palestinians freedom, justice and equality. Prince of Wales walks alongside Muslim and Christian leaders on historic visit to the West Bank. So there's the royal family doing the right thing, saying the right thing for once. Is it just tokenism? Does he really mean it? Has he gone out on a limb? It occurred to me the other day that the Queen, as far as I know, has never visited Palestine, Israel, never visited that region, never been to the Holy Land. The head of the Church of England has never visited the Church of the Nativity. But there's Prince Charles, presumably the future king, unless it skips a generation and goes straight to William. There's Prince Charles calling for freedom, justice and equality for Palestinians. Something akin to human rights, isn't it? That's what we ask for everyone else. So why is it so surprising when people ask for that for the Palestinians? But there you go. Good on you, Prince Charles. I don't often praise the royal family, but you have to praise the truth when it is spoken. And there's the Iraqis hanging effigies of Trump and denouncing US terrorism in Baghdad. Yeah, I wonder if any of the anti-Semites in the chat who were calling me a shill, Fishhammer, I'm looking at you. I wonder what you thought of the US terrorism in Baghdad. I wonder what I'm just curious to get your opinion. If you're still there, maybe you'll give it to me. What did you think of the execution of Qasem Soleimani, the Iranian general who was up against ISIS? I just wonder how you feel about that, and wonder what your explanation is for the killing of him and for the Iraqi anger at killing of him. But we got another caller who is on line one.
Hello, Harpreet Singh.
Oh, well, Harpreet. Well, yeah, welcome back. Hope everything went well.
Sorry, I was a big curry last night.
That's all right. We don't need to. We don't need to know. We don't need.
Plop in the toilet, you know.
No problem. Welcome back. We just got Donald Trump on the screen there, and the Iraqis hang effigies of Trump and denounce US terrorism in Baghdad. And I'm just wondering how some people in the chat felt about that.
something more important, please?
Look, it's free. It's freedom of speech. Aaron Fisher in the chat is asking me what's my ethnicity, and if it's relevant, Aaron, white Irish. But there you go. Yeah.
This is very irrelevant.
I know, but it's
White Irish.
it's all right.
I have no value.
That's all right. What was the important thing you wanted to talk about, Harbury?
My beloved country, India.
Thought so. I don't have a picture for that, so we'll just go with the screen. Yeah. What do you want to say? What do you want to talk about, India? What is it?
I want to say how much we have advanced into the world. You know.
Yeah.
We are the new white man.
You're the new white man. Wow. Well, look, I know you are the Aryans.
No, that's the West Indian.
Oh, look, hang on a minute. Fishhammer is saying, it was fake, you joker, and you know very well it was fake. Who are you trying to fool, you Khazarian shill? What's fake? I'm not sure what he's talking about being fake. Oh, maybe he means that the assassination of Qasem Soleimani was fake. Maybe is that what he's saying?
Oh no! Everyone conspiracy theorist. Everyone conspiracy. The Kobe man, he falling in the helicopter.
Yeah.
People are already saying, "Oh, he conspiracy. He alive." You know.
Yeah, because it's just so easy to say it, isn't it?
Yeah, people are crazy. You know.
Oh wait, here we go. Fishhammer's saying you are not Irish. You are from Gog and Magog. This guy is obviously a religious nutter fanatic. But look, Fishhammer, the number is on the screen there: 07491 751 203. Give us a call. Bob the Builder is in the chat. Brilliant. Welcome, Bob. Brilliant. And he's asking me what is the point of this show. To discuss. Well, Bob, we discuss. I put some ideas in the screen, and then we can talk about that if we want, or anyone can phone up and talk about whatever they want, including yourself, Bob, if you want. But yeah, it's pretty much a free for all, freedom of speech, and we've got the Palestine issue in there, and Hey 14 saying, "Tell this drunk Sikh Guru Nanak was a Sufi Muslim." And we've got the Palestine subject in there as well. So yeah, anything goes. It's a bit eclectic, Bob, but great to have you in the chat. If that is indeed the real Bob, the Builder of Speaker's Corner fame. But sorry, Parpri, you were saying. See, there's another conspiracy theory. They're saying that your guru, Guru Nanak, was a Sufi Muslim. It might be true, it might not.
He was a Sikh.
Was he? I thought the Sikhism wasn't founded until Guru Gobind Singh, the final guru of the 10, founded the Khalsa. But I could be wrong. And he founded it on Vaisakhi.
Oh, maybe I have to Google this one.
Yeah, we can. This is the thing. We can Google anything nowadays. We can get all the facts at the touch of a button. But what about meaning? What do the facts mean? The meaning has to come from within. We have to interpret that ourselves. But Hey 14 is pointing out that Guru Nanak went on Hajj, and only Muslims can go on Hajj. So how did the Guru Nanak get in?
He got in with turban.
Okay, going with I suppose so. And I think Guru Nanak wanted to wear a turban to be to feel as good as the Mughals who ruled India at the time, right?
Yes, the Mughal, yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, no, we look. We can. You wanted to talk about something more important, and we're getting bogged down in politics and history, and people are always going to come on and talk about what they want to talk about. That's what the point of this show is.
Personal problem I have ongoing. Why me and my wife are arguing?
Yeah, no problem. Maybe someone in the chat will relate to it.
And me and another man, we're not having an affair, you know. Raj, he's very nice. He take me out for dinner couple time, curry house.
Yeah.
We spending lots of time together.
Not the one in Southall, is it, where you get your discount?
No, not Taj Palace, because that is closed down. You know, there was rat running in the house, in the restaurant.
Okay.
So temporarily shut, but soon we will relocate to another, on the same street, but another store, you know.
Yeah, sure.
But what happened was me and my new friend Raj Kumar from we met on a dating site,
Okay. Well, then he's not
And
really. He's more of a friend. He's more than a friend if you met on a dating site.
no, because he looking for friendship, so I joined. We no gay.
Yeah.
We no gay.
No, God forbid.
No, we know Sikh can't be gay, We can't. If we gay, then we not Sikh,
That's an interesting point. Why is it every religion, or the vast majority of religions that I know, and maybe Bob the Builder can tell me in a minute, are so against homosexuality? Why is that wrong in every religion?
Because Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve,
Well, yeah, we know
not
the
Adam
old.
and cheese,
So
not Adam and Beaver,
yeah, we can't do any better than a cliche, no.
No, the cliche is okay. Maybe no Adam and Harpreet. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we've got some. Look, do you know what, Harpreet? I'm going to free the line up because Bob the Builder is trying to get through. But if you want to call back in 10, you're welcome. I think the merging must not be happening. But thank you and good luck with your wife's situation.
Okay, good night. I love you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yep, lovely. Thanks for that. Okay, interesting. Bob the Builder, if you want to call, we've freed up the lines now. I don't know why it wasn't putting me on call waiting, but the line should be free now. If you want to have a chat, the subject of homosexuality and religion came up. We don't have to address that. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. And there's just a couple of other stories on the line that I was thinking to cover. We did talk about Kobe Bryant, and I mean, if Bob the Builder does get through, I would be interested in asking him why he thinks the world was so shocked by this talented athlete's death, and get his reaction on that. Freemasons, we've done. Ottoman families, we've looked at. Israel is on your side. We could go down that road. And I did speculate about why the Iraqis might be hanging an effigy of Donald Trump. And I wonder if the people in the chat calling me a shill have got the guts to talk about that. In the chat, Afzad is saying to Bob the Builder, Christianity is falling, come to Islam. I'm sure it's as simple as that, isn't it? God, people just say, yeah, forget your religion. How about mine? But we got a call. We've got a caller. It might be Bob the Builder. Hello, who's this?
It is indeed Bob the Builder.
Ah, welcome. Thank you very much for calling, Bob.
No worries. So I guess this is just talking about politics.
Yeah, you know what? It's very much anything goes. Sorry, it's not much structure. It probably seems like it's all over the place, but I'm just experimenting with taking calls, and I put news stories up there. But if you've got anything you want to share with us, let's go for it.
I might like your idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I know Palestine is a big thing for you. I wanted to draw attention to the fact that Palestinian Christians suffer a double whammy.
Okay.
They suffer because of what the Israeli state does to Palestinians generally.
Yes.
Which obviously impacts on their life massively.
Yeah.
Then they also suffer because of the Muslim majority who seem to be quite happy to sit in bed with terrorists who have extreme views and who persecute Christians. And some examples of that would be the destruction of Christian libraries, the desecration of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre that they went into, or the Church of the Nativity that they stormed a couple of years back and then started shooting up the place, killing one of the monks. The fact that Christians can't evangelize freely in Palestine, which is an essential part of our faith, and it brings about repercussions. If you convert to Christianity in Palestine, you can be killed. And you know, it's all well and good to call out Israel for what it's doing to Palestinians generally, but that should always be accompanied by calling out what groups within Palestine are doing to Palestinian Christians. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
these are fair points, and I was actually reading today. I mean, when I dabble in Wikipedia, I end up clicking and clicking and clicking, and I was looking at the Christian population of Palestine and reading about the breakdown, and it's about a third Orthodox, a third Catholic, and the rest are all the different. It's quite a diverse population. Would you agree? There's even some Coptics and Melachites and many different branches of Christianity, and it is very saddening to me that this population has gone from being historically 10% to around about 2% now, and that does sadden me. And we must call out anti-Christian, whether it's vandalism or worse. Yes, we must call it out. I would say, as you know, a Palestine sympathiser, I think oppression and occupation breeds extremism, and even in the last 20 to 30 years, the Palestinian politics has drifted towards extremism, I'm guessing, as the people became more desperate. But in the 70s and 80s and into the 90s, Yasser Arafat was leading the Palestinian people from a nationalist perspective, as a Muslim who married a Christian, who always said, "May we fly the flag from our Palestinian churches and our mosques," and he always mentioned the churches first. And I wish that it would travel back in that direction. And we've chatted on this before. I know the viewers may not know this, and you said, "Well, we can't do. Wishing is not good enough." I understand your fear for the Christian population, and I can only say, having been in Syria and seeing where the Christians there are stuck between a rock and a hard place, they are, out of fear, gravitating towards the secular nationalism of, say, for example, the ruling party there, the Baath Party. I don't know how you feel on that. Come back at me. I'm hogging the line.
So what I would say about that is, firstly, oppression can feed into those that end up going into extremism. However, Saudi Arabia and Salafism, is not born from a place of oppression. It's born from a place of dominance.
Very good point.
Reading of the Quran and the Hadith, which teaches a supremacy doctrine of Islam over the world. And so it's too simplistic a narrative to say that extremism is born out of oppression or some kind of social injustice, and it doesn't do justice to the facts on the ground. Also, I would say that Yasser Arafat, yes, might have been much more nationalistic and possibly more secular than, say, Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
However, Yasser Arafat still believed that he had the right to marry a Christian woman, but a Christian man didn't have the right to marry a Muslim woman. And that demonstrates the inherent prejudice within Islamic teaching. And then finally, what I would say is that the best chance that Christians have ever had for equality in the Middle East has been through the Ba'athist regimes, which is based on pan-Arab nationalism.
And founded by a Christian, if I'm correct, Michel Aflaq.
A Christian and a Muslim, they founded it together. I think, to be honest, I don't think either of them were particularly religious.
Yeah, from a Christian background, yeah.
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 But in terms of what needs to happen in the Middle East, there needs to be an independent Christian state established out of the rubble of Syria.
Interesting.
These Syria and Iraq are failed states where different groups need their own space. The Shia need their space, the Sunni need their space, the Kurds need their space, the Alawites need their space, and the Christians need theirs.
Is this not caving into ISIS? Isn't that what they want? A Sunni, their version of a Sunni state, which they call the Caliphate? Because that's what you'll end up, isn't it? If everyone else goes elsewhere, they will fill the void.
I think the Caliphate don't just want an Islamic state in the Middle East; they want an Islamic state across the world. And what I'm saying is that if I'm going to demand that Christians have their own space, then it's only fair that I accept that Sunnis should have their own space, and Shia should have their own space, and Alawites have their own space.
So what are you going to do when the Catholics want a separate space from the Orthodox?
Christians in the Middle East recognise that actually, I think that if they were given their own state, the Christians would manage to live together. I'm not sure what kind of settlement would emerge, but I think the only way to ensure the survival of the Christians of the Middle East is to give them control of their own economic and security concerns. And that
But I mean, this, Bob, this reminds me of, I don't know if you heard the show earlier, I was mourning the forced population exchange of Turkey and Greece. I think that was a terrible tragedy, and I think it's horrendous that people born, or whose grandparents were born in Istanbul, in Asia Minor, as we call it, or Anatolia, cannot go back to their ancestral homeland.
Well, just like Christians in North Cyprus were expelled from their land.
Same again, and it's Turkey at it again, and Turkey have been guilty of a lot of things in the last 100 years, and I think we too easily forget that. I'm talking Armenian genocide as well. These are crimes that I wish we didn't have to capitulate to, and it really does sadden me that people from Asia, and I was looking at a video recently about the Rum community, as they're called, in Istanbul, and some Turkish guy commented, who was trying to be nice, who said, "Oh, you Christians will always be welcome in my country," and the guy rightly said, "No, it's you that's in my country. The Turks are the recent arrival to Asia Minor, and I think we should acknowledge that."
Yes, I think the Armenians have there needs to be a remembrance of them and the Assyrian genocide.
Yes, yeah. It was Greek, Armenian, and Assyrian, right?
Yes, right. Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I forgot Greek genocide. There was a Greek genocide at the same time. Yeah, absolutely right. And I think that the reason why I know what you're talking about in terms of, well, isn't this just replacing one ill with another ill? And in an ideal world, we would all live together. But the reality is that where Sharia dominates, there is injustice. And the only way that you can effectively prevent that injustice is to prevent Sharia law dominating. You know, it's just fact. But some people want to live under Sharia, and if they want to live under Sharia, they should have space to do that. You know.
That's very fair. I've got to say, from my travels in Syria, I am confident that the people there do not want to live, or in the areas of Syria that I was in. I know you might think we should carve the Middle East up, but the people in that part of Syria that I was in did not want to live under ISIS version of Sharia. They were Muslim in their heart, in a very sort of spiritual way, rather than and the Christians were Christian. They weren't literalists, and I think that's the problem, is the fanatical literalism. Religion will always be interpreted in different ways, and the way that it's been interpreted by ISIS and Saudi Arabia, I agree, is very dangerous. You might say, well, that's just them reading the Quran, but there are people who interpret it in a more spiritual way.
I'm fully aware that there are different groups of Muslims, and that a huge majority of Muslims have actually rejected the idea of Sharia law because it's failed, and they see it as much more of a culture. But even then, that culture still contains huge amounts of prejudice and bigotry, like that suffered of Coptic Christians in Egypt, who don't live under a Sharia law system, but they are suffering because of the kind of deep-rooted prejudices that you can find within Islamic texts that justify reducing them to second-class citizens. And just to prove that that isn't some kind of spoof or spook or mishap of Egyptian culture, you can compare the plight of Coptic Christians in Egypt to Pakistani Christians in Pakistan. And you see a similar pattern of behaviour in both countries, despite the fact that they have no linguistic, cultural, economic, social commonality. They just have one commonality, and that is a religious tradition.
And is that the religious tradition? I mean, I sense you're saying that it's as old as the religion itself, but Salafism has only been around 200 years. The Deobandi and the Brailwi sects that appeared in the Indian subcontinent came around at about the same sort of time. These are the strict literalist interpretations, I would think.
Then you would have to explain how this kind of deep-rooted prejudice could be evidenced in the Ottoman Empire, the Abbasid Empire, the
Fatimid, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which empire or which age we look at or which society we look at. I can point to a practice of discrimination and persecution against Christians. And those empires have gone, and Sharia law no longer dominates, but the cultural heritage that has left behind is what informs the treatment of Christians right across the Middle East and across Muslim majority countries in the world. Even in so-called tolerant countries like Malaysia and Indonesia, they've recently passed a law forbidding Christians to call God Allah in their own literature and publications.
That's right. They say they should forbid it, right?
Yeah.
Strange. You think they would be enforcing them to call God Allah, but they don't. It's the opposite. They yeah.
And in Indonesia, there are regular protests against churches, forced closing of churches. Even though it's all legal, there was outrage in an Indonesian province because a Christian had the audacity to win a fair election and become a mayor. So at some point, people have got to recognise that this is coming from somewhere, and these places are separated by economics, they're separated by culture, they're separated by history, they're separated by language. There's only one commonality.
Is there anywhere in the world that you would say has got it right or the least bad? I mean, I keep going back to Syria. The harmony I saw between Christian and Muslims in my short week stay there was a positive for me. But is there anywhere that you could say is an example for the Muslim world to take a leaf out of their book, or you just can't find it?
The place that the Muslims need to look to for an example of how to structure a fair society is the United States of America.
Okay.
Where freedom of religion is guaranteed in the Constitution, and that people have the greatest degree of freedom. Which isn't to say necessarily that I agree with everything that liberalism stands for, but if you wanted to look at a state that has the least persecution of religious minorities, then I would say the United States.
And that separation of church and state.
They have a secular state. Yeah.
Interesting. So look, just last question before I wrap it up. Then, in your envisioned Christian state in the Middle East, would it be a secular state, church and state separate?
All Christians. You see, the thing is, just be very quick about it. Christians believe in a separation between the institution of the state and the institution of the church. These two things shouldn't be mixed. It's a Christian concept that these two things should be kept.
Really? But how is the Queen the head of the church then, or is that an invention later?
The idea then is that Christians obviously fill up the institution of the church, but they should also fill up the institution of the state, so that both heads of the eagle, as it were, are thinking the same mind. The idea of the king being the head of the church is something actually that was condemned centuries ago as sin.
Really?
The idea that you can inherit a religious position is condemned.
So I'm guessing, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, the Church of England have got something wrong then by making the Queen there. I know it's only a symbolic title anyway. It's the Archbishop of Canterbury, but they do say the Queen is the head of the church.
Yes.
Interesting. Look, Bob, thank you very much for getting in touch with me. You brought a good debate. Yeah, thank you very much. And I don't really frequent Speaker's Corner anymore, so you'll have to give me a call on here, or if you do something similar on your channel, I'll contribute likewise.
Brilliant. How about we could meet up and have a chat?
Yeah, lovely.
I know you've done chats in cafes
Yeah, I do. And the email is on my channel, Lessons for Life 247 at gmail.com, or you can text this number. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, bud.
God bless.
Yeah, you too. God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's wow. That's Bob the Builder of Speaker's Corner fame, and it was the real one. Very kind of him to phone in and give his time, and obviously treat it serious topic. We've mixed the serious with the less serious on this show, but it's luck of the draw. As we get bigger, more people will phone in, and different topics will be able to be covered. But once again, thank you to everyone who got involved tonight, whether it's on the chat or on the line. And if there's ever anything you want to talk to me about, Lessons for Life 247 at gmail.com. Get in touch. That just about wraps it up from me. We'll do it all again soon. This has been Lessons for Life on your Tuesday phone in. We were here and we are gone. Laters.